Welcome to Atomic Cricket Podcast. I am your host for this week, Chirunandhan. I'm joined with Vijay Lokapally, sir, senior sports journalist, and a very special guest with us, Milind Wagle. He has done a lot of radio commentary and also TV commentary. So it's a pleasure to have you on this show because having seniors on this show is really good. And I'm joined as usual with my friend Maitreya. So this week we're going to talk about India versus England, the fourth test. India have won. India have made it 2-1, and India are on the lead. The final test will take place, and now India are ensured that they will, kind of. India have won a test in Oval after 50 years, which is quite amazing. So let's first welcome our guest on this show, Milind Wagle, sir. It's a pleasure to have you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure. I can just see Vijay just mentioned to me that this show is organized and hosted by the youth of this nation today. And I go back to my times. I go back when I was 16, 17, 18 years old, and the amount of passion that I had to become a broadcaster. There were not many avenues. Remember, there was only All India Radio then, and television just started in 1974. I came into television. Doordarshan was the only channel. I came in about 75. A month from now, 2nd of October, was my first program. So yes, it's a privilege to talk to you guys out there, and you've got so much of spectrum. You've got so much of life ahead of you to take broadcasting at a different level altogether. It's not cricket now. Remember, for me, it's cricket and Olympic sports. I've done commentary on about 27 or 28 Olympic sports. So yes, I started with cricket and athletics, and have gone through the learning curve, and have sort of been a jack of all sports over these 45 years of my broadcasting career. Thank you so much. Pleasure being on your show.
And Vijay sir,
Thank you.
how is your week? India won by 157 runs, 50 years after that 1971. You were there, but for us, it's kind of very great because India have lost in 2014, 2018 the series, and now you see India almost on winning the series. Even if India loses the fifth test, either it's a draw or England win it, but still India are not going to lose. So that's kind of very great for us. How was your week?
Like Milind mentioned, just now, I'm from a generation which grew up on radio commentary. Of course, then Doordarshan came much later, and one could see those test matches. But the 1971 victory, I had heard only the commentary and celebrated. The BBC was the source, and to relieve those motions, I mean, this moments, this young team of India led by Virat has done wonders. I'm sure people would remember the Brisbane victory and then the one at Lord's, and how they have come back and won the game at Oval. So Oval has been a very special ground for us. But Milind, if I take you back into time, what was the importance of radio commentary in a young man's life when you were growing up? Because there were no other avenues to get to know about sports, and All India Radio has done a huge service to Indian sport.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Vijay, before I answer that question of yours, and it's going to take me some time, to go through that question with a longish answer. But 1971 also holds another special memory for me. I listened to the commentary at the Oval. Of course, my favorite cricketer, Ajit Wadekar, was the captain. I grew up, following Ajit Wadekar since 1964 when he led the Indian universities against Ted Dexter's side at Pune. And the city, the Nehru Stadium wasn't there. They played at the police ground at Pune, next to Rahul Theatre. And there was no security. I was sitting next to the dressing room. My first autograph ever was Ajit Wadekar. There was Ken Barrington, Dexter, Parfit, Puller. Nari Contractor, I think, was the chairman of selectors. Farooq Engineer was there, Ajay Devecha. And Ajit Wadekar went on, of course, to that 1971 victory. But Vijay, the other thing which I just mentioned, which I will always remember 1971 radio again, is because 1971, I also heard the BBC commentary on the Wimbledon final. Stan Smith versus Elena Sase. And I've got it recorded. It's the tape of BBC recorded for 3 hours and some 50 minutes is there with me. and it's on the C180 cassettes. I don't know whether these young boys will know what the C180 cassettes are. We're now into the world of digital and whatever CDs and so on and so forth. We've gone on from the VHS to something different. But 71 holds me. Wimbledon 71, Smith versus Nastase. Nastase was actually going to win that match, and he lost the match because of his tantrums. So radio holds a very special place of pride for me. BBC then and BBC for the cricket matches. But answering your question, I was a young boy, and my father would keep me engrossed with that national square oblong radio set with that wire coming up or the antenna coming up. Even West Indies late at night, we would listen to the commentary. The Tony Coziers and the others. Australia, Alan McGillrey was my favorite, and England, of course, was my favorite place. Two of my very famous commentators, Chris Martin Jenkins, came a little later, but John Arlott, Brand Johnston, Fred Truman, Trevor Bailey, these are names which, and I decided then, that I will become a commentator. I dreamt to become a commentator. I didn't realize that I'm going to be one fine day. But yes, and then India, how can I miss out my contemporaries or seniors? Anand Setalwad, D.K. Ratnagar, Suresh Saraiya, Ravi Chaturvedi in Hindi, Sushil Doshi, Ravi Malhotra. Have I forgotten anyone? Pearson Surita, Chakrapani, even the great Vizi. So these are names which came to my mind, and which I didn't even realize that one fine day I will be rubbing shoulders with Anand Setalwad and Suresh Saraiya and D.K. Ratnagar. And the dream came true somewhere in the 70s when I had the opportunity. Narottam Puri, another name which I should not forget. The privilege of a young boy then going into the 20s and doing commentary with these greats. So it's been emotional, a roller coaster ride. I've had my only ups, let me tell you that. I don't think I've had my downs. As people say, ups and downs. I can't remember the downs. There may have been a few, but I've forgotten all of those. I've always been positive in life. And, with friends like you all who have always encouraged me to do the broadcasting, both on television, always said nice words. They've always motivated me. And I'm now 66, Vijay. I'm not a young man. But at 66, the passion to continue to the commentary is still there, very much there. And I will not hang my shoes, as they say, for a long, long time. I want the young boys to give me a run for the money. I like youngsters in the commentators box, like to encourage them and like to take over from me someday.
Very well said, sir. I mean, the last statement. So it's on this show, it's like we have almost two generations talking about cricket. We have Vijay Lokapally, sir, who is an expert, a sports journalist. And then we too, Maitreya, hopefully can join us later on this show. But how is this youngsters shaping up the country in either broadcasting or about cricket? And because when we podcast about cricket, it's not only us. I see a lot of them. Arnav Verma, a cricket YouTuber, is just 12 years old. I wanted to talk about him. So there are a lot of youngsters who are younger than us, and they're creating a lot of content. Like, how are they going to shape the country?
First, let me flatter Vijay Lokapally, my friend, a little bit before I get to the youngsters of today and the youngsters of tomorrow. Vijay has been a wonderful friend. He was so passionate in writing for Hindu for years together. Vijay, what was it, 35, 40 years?
From 86 onwards.
86 onwards. So 96, 14, close to 35, 36 years. And Vijay has not stopped. His articles used to be brilliant. His travel logs to far-flung countries, I used to read with passion. The Hindu, Vijay, was always my favorite newspaper because, that newspaper as an athletic and swimming commentator gave me all the dope. I did not have to. There was no Wikipedia, there was no Google, there was no internet. And all that I banked upon were your colleagues and you on the newspaper Hindu, which I kept the cuttings for a long, long time. I don't know why I gave them away. But yes, you've been a wonderful friend and a wonderful journalist. You now there at a particular place. I don't know whether I'm permitted to say that today on this program. You just some great announcement today, and you got that responsibility and the pressure, as you wrote somewhere, to handle that particular job that you've been entrusted with. So I wish you the very best there. Coming back to the answer, which this young boy has asked me. Young boys, yes, great. They're there. They're learning very fast. The avenues are amazing. There is so much of information available on internet, Google, Wikipedia. You got to make sure that you pick up the right and correct information. Sometimes Wikipedia is not 100% correct. I've been caught napping, and then I realized that yes, pick them up, but make sure that you do your homework. So the word is homework. Young boy, Charu, what is his name? Charu? Did I get his name right? Pardon?
Chiru.
Chiru.
Yeah.
Chiru, what the young boys need to do is to do a lot of homework. I find the youngsters coming into the commentators box. It could be anywhere. You mentioned YouTube. With very little homework done, there is so much available, and use it to your advantage. We cannot become a Richie Beno or a Gavaskar or a Sanjay Mandrekar, because they are the cricketers. Whereas we need to make up. What does Harsha Bhogle do? My favorite commentator again. What does Prakash Wakankar do? For example, on radio or television, they pick up the good things that's available to them. And today's listener or viewer, and listener, we are talking Saraya and the Anand Setluads. Here he comes in from over the wicket, outside the off stump, into the hands of the wicketkeeper. No run scored. Back to the bowler. The bowler now goes to the top of his bowling mark. One slip, gully, backward short leg, point, cover, extra cover, mid off. That is gone now, guys. You need to be innovative in your commentary. You need to be innovative when you're anchoring. Earlier on, we would take the mic in front of us and say, "This is Milind Wagle reporting to you from the Bremont Stadium in Mumbai. It's a wonderful afternoon." Gone. Those days are gone. Start with a different way. I did an interview with Nandan Bal the other day. It was his birthday, coincidentally, and I started off by saying that we are talking to a boy who's grown up to an adult now. It's his birthday today, and we on this show are going to cut a cake to honor him. And then that's the way the program started. I did an interview with Chandrabord, and I said, Arjuna Award, Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan. Gosh, I wish I can have this, but I'm only dreaming. Welcome to our program, so and so. So the start has to be innovative. You guys need to be innovative today to make sure that you're different from someone else. How is Harsha Bhogle today different from someone else? How is he different? Because he makes commentary so interesting. He does not start with the standard old 1960 ways of doing commentary. So the youth is there. The youth needs to learn from the peers, and we are all, Vijay Lokapally, me, we are all there to teach you and pass on all the information, knowledge, mistakes that you do. I make mistakes even today, and people correct me. There's nothing wrong in learning. You keep on learning till the last day. So answering your question, Chiru, again very quickly, youth, excellent opportunities there. Grab it. It's like a batsman. If he does not grab an opportunity, look at Prithvi Shaw. He failed in Australia, has not come back. Wonderful batsman. He's now fighting to come back into the side. He will come back, but he's lost about what? Vijay, about 6-7 months. He's lost now, and that he's lost a few matches. It's very difficult, guys, to come in, and it's the same in the world of broadcasting. The same applies to you in all walks of life. If you don't grab your opportunity, that's the end of the story, or that's the end of the road for you.
Yeah, that's lovely, Milind. I was wondering, if both Chiru and Maitreya and Akash, they have a flood of information available, no doubt. And that's the reason why these young people have started their own YouTube channel, and it's growing. There are a lot of people who are wanting to be featured here. And like Chiru said at the beginning, we are very happy to have you with us, sharing your experience. So can you tell these young boys about your collection of ties and hats? Because that is something it will definitely interest them.
Don't forget the autographs, 15,000 plus.
Yes.
And the books. Over 600, 700 books. I've given a lot of them away during this COVID times. But yes, my first collection actually started with autographs. So that's where I'm going to first talk to you. The reason why I'm talking and specifying on the autograph part of it is because in this world today where, your social media, your the WhatsApp, your Facebook and so many others, Instagram, we're all hooked onto it, and we don't seem to be enjoying what we enjoyed, at least what I enjoyed in the 1960s, and I still enjoy today. I mentioned some time back my first autograph book was in 1964. So what's it? 26, 47, 48 years now, or more? No, 56, 55 years. That autograph book, Vijay, is still with me. Chiru Maitreya, that autograph book is still with me. I showed it to Ajit Wadekar, 4 or 5 years back. His original autograph, he had changed it to another autograph. That was his bank autograph. And he said, "Where did you get this autograph from?" And I said, "Sir, although he was a great friend of mine, I said, "Sir, this autograph is 1964 when you led the Indian universities against the MCC." He was surprised. My autograph collection now goes back to 15,000 plus autographs. They include a broad spectrum. I've been lucky because as a sports commentator, you meet sports persons. As a sports commentator, where I do other programs, other sports as well, football, hockey, tennis, badminton, table tennis, the works. I get an opportunity to take autographs from every varied sportsman. I carry a logbook of mine of my flights. That logbook has a middle page. That logbook has actually all the flights that I've logged over 35, 40 years. So it's got the flight number, the date, the flight type of aircraft, sector, A to B, pushback. Pushback means when the aircraft actually pushes back. The chokes on, which means when the aircraft lands and the chokes are put on. The commander is autograph, the co-pilot is autograph, number of kilometers, and the aircraft call sign. But the point I'm making is that the middle part of the book has about 10 pages blank, and I take autographs instead of carrying a book, separate book, autograph book. The personality whom I meet in the VIP lounge on the flight, they give me an autograph. So when they see about 5 or 6 autographs on the page, it becomes very easy for them to know that this guy is a genuine collector. He's not taking an autograph just because I'm a personality and then he'll throw it away. My autographs over the period, I have over 2,000 autographs of armed forces personnel. They include over 500 armed forces personnel who have been gallantry awardees, Paramveer Chakras, Mahavir Chakras, Ashok Chakras, Kirti Chakras, down to the Sena medals. So that was my first hobby. Vijay and the team out here, I formed a club called the Autograph Collectors Club. So we have about 200 members on the Autograph Collectors Club. I am lucky, like just for example, the other day, just a week back, Somaya gave me 6 autographs. Chetan Anand, the former national champion, gave me 6 autographs. So I keep one for myself and I give the other 5 away to the autograph collectors because they have no avenue to collect these autographs. The armed forces autographs include not the Army, Navy, Air Force chiefs, but they go down to the Army commanders, the Corps commanders, heads of institutions like the NDA, IMA, OTA, Naval Academy, Air Force Academy, so on and so forth. So that's on the autographs, Vijay, and you guys there. Coming to the ties, my first tie was, I think, about 15 years back, and I have beaten my guru to it. My guru was Suresh Saraya. He used to wear a tie, as Vijay would know, at every event. So my guru to encourage me to collect ties was Suresh Saraya. I think when he passed away, he had about 300 ties. Today, I have 1,572 ties. They're only sports and armed forces ties. So if you give me a tie and say, this is a 40,000 rupee tie from Harrods in England, I'll say keep it. It has to be a sports tie. Someone like Hansi Cronier has given me 48 ties. Whatever he was, may his soul rest in peace. He gave me 48 ties. General Atta Hasnai has given me 50 armed forces ties. General Ian Cardozo has given me 10 ties, which are very unique. So that's my tie hobby. 72 hats. I'm not wearing one now, but 72 hats. They include sports. Nitin Kannamawar, the tennis referee, keeps on giving me hats wherever he goes to cover a tennis event. So that's hats for me. Have I left out anything? So that's it. Ties, autographs, hats, and the books, of course. Huge library of books, which Vijay, I'm sure, has also. And my books include all sports, not only cricket and armed forces.
So, Milind sir, we need a quick answer from you on this one. Yes, it's a cricket podcast, but watching the Paralympics, a lot of medals have come from it. So we thought we would talk about it. Just give 2 or 3 minutes on it. I mean, 19 medals already. So talk us on it.
The Olympics are is my favorite event. I've covered 6 Olympic Games right from 1996. Some of them in the venue, some of them from the studios, either of Doordarshan or All India Radio in Delhi. But 19 medals, boy, they have beaten the able-bodied. I'm not taking anything away from the able-bodied men and women, but they've taken the able-bodied men, and the para team in India has said we may have one limb of ours not functioning well, but it doesn't matter. 5 gold medals, 8 silvers, 6 bronze, 19 the highest ever in the Paralympics. Amazing, amazing. They are my pride. And today I got an autograph. Incidentally, I think some of them were in Delhi being honored. Bhavina Patel, the girl who did wonders, signed an autograph for me. I wish I could show it to you. She's written, Milind, sir, respected, signed Bhavina Patel, Paralympic. Amazing, 19 medals. Salute, hats off to them.
Milind, let me introduce the youngest member of our channel, Maitreya. And he and Chiru were the ones who launched this. And like I said, Akash is their friend. And this trio is the rising, the rising stars of YouTube cricket channel. But next question for you, Milind, is coming from Maitreya.
Yes, sir. So, tell us about your most cherished moment in your whole career relating to sports. Any sports, cricket, tennis, or anything. Your most cherished moment.
Gosh, tough question, my dear friend. Tough question. I've got over a few thousand cherished moments, but I'll tell you one which will always stand to me at the back of my mind. My moments of association or talking, like Vijay has done, of interviewing Gavaskars, Tendulkars, the foreign cricketers, other sports persons, film actors, defense personnel, all maybe in a few thousands as far as cherished moments are concerned. But one I will tell you, which I will always remember with nostalgia. I've been a student of history, and I always dreamt that I should go and see Athens, but I couldn't go. I couldn't afford a trip to Athens, the capital of Greece. And my turn came, fortunately, for All India Radio to go and cover the Olympic Games in Athens. It was in August of 2004, and boy, that was some event. Goosebumps. That was my first Olympic Games which I covered in the Olympic Stadium. I did manage. I was fortunate to go and cover Olympic Games after that in some other cities as well, the Asian Games, the Commonwealth Games. But the entire atmosphere is amazing, absolutely amazing. You meet the Federers, the Ian Thorpes, the Michael Phelps, the Usain Bolts. The names are endless. So goosebumps when I landed into Athens airport. We used to work for about 14 hours a day, 14, 15 hours, 16 hours we used to work because the reports had to be sent in, commentary had to be done. And then at night, the Olympic city, Athens, on that particular occasion, was fully lit. There were buses running. We had the media accreditation card where you could go into the bus. Taxis were there. And I saw every nook and corner of Athens, the history of Athens. The cherished moments were, I covered the marathon. The marathon has always been my favorite event, along with the 100 meters. I did the finals of the 100 meters. Maurice Green was the world champion and the world record holder. He lost in the finals. Justin Gatlin went on to win the finals, and I had the opportunity to interview him. I interviewed Ian Thorpe there, Michael Phelps there. And as I said, the marathon, which actually started at Marathon. I hope you know that the marathon started at Marathon and ended in Athens in whatever BC, 457 BC. And this in Athens started in Marathon and ended the old stadium. I'm repeating the old stadium and not the new stadium. The old stadium which was built in 457 BC. So that, I think, to me is my most cherished moment. But as I said, if you take me through a 2-hour program or a 4-hour program, I'd have a few hundred stories to talk about.
So, sir, let's moving on the plates. We need to talk about India versus England that is going on. So
Can I just take a minute of the other cherished moment, young boys, is when I did the commentary of the President's Fleet Review. The President of India reviews the naval fleet once during his tenure of 5 years. And I was on board the INS Subhadra, where there was the president, the vice president, prime minister, naval chiefs, ambassadors, governors, chief ministers. And I was on board the INS Subhadra doing commentary for 6 hours along with my Hindi commentator for the President's Fleet Review. That to me is the proudest moment that I also will always cherish. Yes, please go ahead. Sorry for interrupting you.
No problem, sir. So talking about India versus England, which is going on, India won the fourth test. So the first test ended up in a draw where India was in a comfortable situation to win. The second, we won convincingly at Lords. Then the third test, we lost. And now we come to this fourth test, we again win. I mean, talk about this comeback. Comeback is in our blood. Talking about the Australia series where India won at the Gabba, all those things, and then a home series in England. India lost the first test, and then we came back. So it's like comeback is in each Indian's blood, and we do it very convincingly, and we are ahead of England in this test series. Shardul Thakur, who could imagine 191? He made it to come to 191. If it wasn't for him, is 57, then India would have lost this game perhaps. And then also in the second innings, he has scored 60. So the tail at number 8, batting at number 8 and scoring those runs, it's not very easy. And you don't want to call him an all-rounder, but you want to call him and appreciate him. So talking about comebacks and talking about Shardul Thakur, who has been the lord of this test match.
I'm going to first go back once again to the third test match, if you permit me to do so. Because when India were all out for 78 and 218, and we allowed England to get 432, I don't think, the most ardent Indian fan never gave India a chance, not only in that test match, but even in the fourth test match. I'm not a pessimist. I'm always an optimist. I live on hope. Today is one of those odd days when I don't have the Indian flag on my shirt. Normally, I always have the flag on my T-shirt, even if I go out for a walk. But the third test match, 78, I just can't believe that this side were bundled out for 78 and then 218. But very few people, the diehard fans, gave India a very, very little chance in the fourth test match to come back again after losing the third test match. Again, as you said, 191, with England getting 290, Yadav 3 for 76. You had Bumrah 2 for 57, Jadeja for 2 for 36, and Thakur chipped in with that wicket. Once again, 191, 290. People felt a lead of 100 by England. India will be bundled out again for 120, 130, 150, 200, and England will get those runs. What do the Indians do? Gosh, they come up with 466. You haven't mentioned Rohit Sharma, 127. I think he and KL Rahul laid the foundation. Rahul got 46. And after that, it was Kohli who got runs. It was Pant who got runs, and Thakur 60 of 72. I'm a figures man. I'm a stats man. So I like to rattle out figures. And then towards the end, we are forgetting Yadav got 25 and Bumrah got 24. So they were very useful runs in a partnership with our friend Shardul Thakur. And amazing, isn't it? England all out 210. Great. Absolutely great. Absolutely great. There's no question about it.
Yes, sir. Then we will talk about the four tests are over, and so many are telling we can get Ashwin or what do you think about that? Ashwin or Shardul Thakur is playing well, and there is no place to put another player. All are playing well. So what do you think about bringing in Ashwin or still excluding him out of the next test?
What do they say? Don't change a winning combination. So will Rahane get the axe? Will the poor boy, such a wonderful cricketer? I'm a great fan of his. Not because he's from Mumbai, remember, but he's a wonderful cricketer. They say that sometimes when bad luck strikes you, it really strikes you very heavily. And it has struck Rahane. He doesn't seem to be getting things right. I only hope that, people, some of the senior cricketers, they give him a fair bit of advice to correct whatever, if it's the technique which is not correct. Answering your question, Ravichandra Ashwin, where does he fit in? You're right, absolutely right. Jadeja can't go out. The fast bowlers can't go out. Whom will we sacrifice? Will we sacrifice a batsman, Rahane, to get in Ashwin? I don't think so. So Ashwin's coming back in this particular test match. Maybe if Vijay agrees with me, we might perhaps get past one fast bowler and get an Ashwin. But honestly, I don't know the wicket in the next test match. I would continue with the same side. I would even continue with Ajinkya Rahane. I would continue with Ajinkya Rahane. Give him one more chance. People keep on saying, "Kitna chance dega yaar usko? Kitna chance dega?" Give him one more chance. All of us fail. All of us fail. Chiteshwar Pujara failed in the first two test matches. He's got those 60s, 70s. He's got runs again. So tough call answering your question. Ashwin doesn't find a place in the fifth test match, according to me.
And
but one thing is sure. India go into that test match with their head high. Shoulders will not be drooping. Shoulders will be up there like this. The heads will be high, and they will be on a roll. England will have to be very wary about this Indian side.
So, sir, talking about India's 466. So you have talked about everyone scoring runs. Virat got runs. Rohit scored a billion century. KL Rahul got 46. Pant got a 50. Shardul Thakur got a 60. So this is when you enjoy, right? India versus South Africa in 2019. Each test India was going out and scoring 500s, 400s. And that's what exactly that I wanted. India scoring 466. That was very good. And we have to appreciate that. So talking about Rohit Sharma to 127, yes, he was dropped few times of Rory Burns, but 127 it's his first away century. And about Rohit Sharma, how have you known him as a person if you have met him, and talk about him?
See, he's a Mumbai boy, but before that, Vijay Lokapally will bear me out that Sunil Gavaskar in that series in West Indies, when he got those tons and tons of runs, was dropped about a dozen times. Now, please understand, Sunil Gavaskar didn't ask the fielder to drop him. Am I right, Vijay? He didn't ask them to drop them. Rohit Sharma did not ask the English batsman to drop him. If they've dropped him, it's their problem. And please look at this from the other side, the positive side. When you're dropped sometimes once or twice or thrice, you're mentally sort of upset. I played a bad stroke, catch has been dropped, and you go and play another bad stroke and get caught. Whereas Rohit Sharma was very stubborn. He's a very stubborn boy. I've known him since the time he was a young boy in Mumbai, when he played the under 12s, under 14s. He's a very stubborn boy. He's technically very correct. People say he should only play the T20s and the ODIs and not the test matches. Here he's proved for you. The other thing, Chiro, is that cricket is a game. It's a team game. Remember, we must remember it's a team game. If you look at the scores which you mentioned, 127 Sharma, Rahul 46, Pujara 61, Kohli 44, Pant 50, Thakur 60, Yadav 25, Bumrah 24. Everyone chipped in to get that 466. You cannot have. I remember a test match in India versus West Indies, when West Indies against India, I think in 1964 or 62, they got 600 runs, and there were 500s in that test match. So cricket, you don't need to get 500s. One guy gets a 100, a big 100. Another guy gets a 70. 2 or 3 guys get a 40, 50, 60. And 2 or 3 guys get a 25, 30. They say, in Marathi, and I hope you can understand, Thembe thembe tale sache, which means drops and drops make an ocean. Drops and drops make a lake, and a lake makes an ocean. A river makes an ocean. So ocean is not formed by itself. These are drops which make an ocean, a river, or a lake. So these are drops of runs which always will make you build up a big total. So the Indian team must realize that one man or two men scoring 100 is not good enough. If two score 100, which is 200 plus, others fail, you got only 240, 250, 260, and the opponents can get that. But when you get a score in the vicinity of 450, 500, with everyone chipping in, and even if the tail enders chip in with 25, 30, you got 500, and the pressure is on the opposition. And that's exactly what happened in the last test match. 190 India, 290 England, but India 466, I think, told the story as far as England's debacle in that test match is concerned. And Rohit Sharma, oh yes, amazing player. There's no question about it. He is an outstanding player to me. He should be a permanent fixture in all 3 formats of the game. T20, ODIs, and the test matches.
Right. Yeah. And before we conclude, Milind, if you can give my young friends here a tip, just one little tip about how they can be a good, say, a broadcaster or a good student of the game, or maybe they can be good writers.
Learn.
They all aspire to be connected with cricket through this channel, through writing, through maybe they can grow up and do some commentary.
Vijay, my advice, and this is my advice personally, go on to do cricket commentary, but also try and dabble at other sports. Pick up one sport, pick up the second sport over a period of time. Work hard. All of you have the passion. All of you have the dedication. All of you have the talent to become good commentators. But learn from the likes of me, Vijay Lokapally, and some of the others. You guys are in Delhi. There are so many good journalists and commentators and people who are with experience in Delhi. Some of you may be in Mumbai out here, and learn from your peers. Don't feel shy to go and ask someone, am I doing the right thing, or do I need to do something else? And the biggest thing which Vijay will tell you, which Sachin Tendulkar kept on saying, what took him to those 25, 30 years and those tons and tons of runs? The word passion. Have the passion. Vijay has the passion. I have the passion. It's the passion even at this age which takes us through day in and day out. Modulate your voice. If you're in the world of broadcasting, modulate your voice. Learn how to be slow, good. Learn the nuances. I think Maitreya joined us late, but do your homework. There is so much available out here, and I can assure you that you guys, your youngsters, will be the future of not only today, but the future of tomorrow as well. I will always wish you well in your endeavor for the future.
So thanks for coming. It was good to have you on this show. You added poetry to whatever you spoke. You made all our listeners. I'm sure you will make all our listeners understand how is it to be a radio commentator, and you put it nicely. All the answers. First of all, thanks for coming, and our listeners, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and our podcast. You can listen to our podcast on any podcast app, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, and you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And you can join our Discord server where we'll be chatting with you about cricket. And Vijay sir, thanks for getting him on this show first of all. Akash, thanks for editing this video. And let me not forget Maitreya. He has joined us late. Was unfortunate not to ask many questions, but Maitreya, wasn't it good to have him? Thanks Milind sir again for coming on this show.
Yeah, just one quick word from me. Vijay Lokapally owes me a treat next time I'm in Delhi for the great news that he has given me today.
We will have you again on one of our shows, Milind. This is just the debut for you. We'll keep coming back to you on maybe different topics in future. So don't think that we are going to let you go just like that.
Pleasure mine.
Thank you. Thank you.